In this last sprint to the polls, a group called the National Republican Trust PAC is running a 25-minute-long anti-Barack Obama screed in a bunch of swing states. It's a long ad that they want to make the closing conservative argument of this year's elections. Now, the organization tells us they've bought time on about 40 or 50 TV stations around the country to run this anti-Obama ad. Now, if that name of this organization, the National Republican Trust PAC, sounds at all familiar to you, it may be because this is what their closing argument looked like against Barack Obama in the last election.
For 20 years, Barack Obama followed a preacher of hate and said nothing is right raged against our country.
Not God bless America, God damn America. U.S. of KKKA.
He built his power base in Wright's church. Wright was his mentor, advisor, and close friend. For 20 years, Obama never complained until he ran for president. Barack Obama, too radical, too risky.
If you liked that in 2008, you will love the 2010 version. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
For a guy who's already authored 2 memoirs, he's not exactly an open book. What does he plan for America? In short, who is the real Barack Obama?
I got to ask you a question. I do not I can't trust Obama. I have read about him, and he's an Arab. He is not. No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. He's a decent family man, citizen that I just happen to have disagreements with on fundamental issues.
Remember how the campaign wrapped up in 2008? Remember the heights of the national conversation about politics at that point? Now, 2 years later, Barack Obama is once again kind of foreign, kind of Muslim, definitely really anti-white people. Let's start with, this is from the new ad that is running as the closing argument from this National Republican Trust PAC. We can start with the foreign-y, Muslim-y part.
President Obama's words and actions seem clear. He does not view America with an America-centric perspective, but instead from an outsider's point of view, often with hostility.
First time in my adult lifetime, I'm really proud of my country.
Tonight I speak to you not as a candidate for president, but as a citizen and a fellow citizen of the world.
I believe in American exceptionalism, just as I suspect that the Brits believe in British exceptionalism and the Greeks believe in Greek exceptionalism.
Assalamu alaikum.
You know, one of the points I want to make is that if you actually took the number of Muslims, Americans, we'd be one of the largest Muslim countries in the world.
Let there be no doubt, Islam is a part of America.
Instead of standing up for America, he bowed to the King of Saudi Arabia. During his presidential election, he wound up with a record-shattering $750 million in his campaign. To this day, he refuses to report from whence it came. One reason might be that some of it originated from the terrorist group Hamas.
How did he get that $750 million? Well, clearly he's a Muslim, so clearly it must be from Islamic terrorists. It is as if the folks at the Republican National Trust PAC have created a time machine to take us right back to the final days before the 2008 election, when the Barack Obama is a secret Muslim terrorist plant conspiracy theory was not only all the rage on the right, it was consuming the right. But no 2008 throwback anti-Obama closing argument would, of course, be complete without suggesting that in addition to perhaps being a secret Muslim terrorist, Mr. Obama is also a commie pinko socialist.
The phrase "spread the wealth around" may seem harmless to some. To others, it was a clear invitation to adopt the destructive ideology of leftist revolutionaries. Among the public and from the media, it should have ignited debate over Obama's intentions, like whose wealth is to be spread around, and who would be the beneficiaries of the money Obama planned to confiscate. It wasn't the only time Obama displayed tendencies that some labeled socialist.
Not us. Some. Not us. Barack Obama's economic policies are evil, of course, and socialist, just like Castro and Mao and Chavez. Get the point? Also, doesn't he look like a cigarette-smoking communist in those old fake artsy college photos? Yeah, the National Republican Trust PAC has made President Obama out to be a very scary guy in their time machine to 2008's closing argument ad. He's scary because he sort of seems foreign, and when you put him next to pictures of Chavez, that also seems scary, and maybe he's a little Muslim-y too, and he's scary because he wants to give away your money. He wants to give away your money. He wants to confiscate your money like a communist dictator. But this part is also key. Barack Obama, in this closing argument for these campaigns, in this closing argument for these elections, he is also scary because, of course, he's racist against white people. This is what it always comes back to, right? At the end of the day, the message in the final hours before this year's elections is what it has boiled down to so many times since he was going to win and since he won. White people, be afraid of Obama. Don't forget he's black. And he's coming to get you.
During the 2008 campaign, Obama pretended to turn his back on extremists from his past.
You want freedom? You're going to have to kill some crackers. You're going to have to kill some of their babies.
Did you catch that? So Obama pretended to turn his back on extremists from his past. Following that sentence, you see a quick image of Jeremiah Wright, and then immediately you get the violent ravings of a beard-braiding kook on the street. A beard-braiding kook to whom Barack Obama has no connection whatsoever, but who the Republican National Trust PAC hopes white people will think of when they think of President Obama, and they will be afraid. That is the argument that is being offered on behalf of Republicans this year. This is the closing argument. Running in swing states across the country, a 25-minute-long ad. Sure, health care is terrible and the stimulus stinks. But white people, come on, don't forget what it all boils down to. White people, be afraid.